Hey everyone, it's Zalius here and I hope you're doing good and welcome to my tutorial. In this tutorial we're going to write a program to store numbers in a linked list and then add these numbers and create a new list of numbers. So if you're interested in to learn or see this implementation, stay with me. So first take a look and see what a linked list is. A linked list is basically a data structure for collecting items or objects, and it does it in a different way than array does. A linked list is a linear data structure in which the elements are not stored at the contiguous memory locations. The elements in a linked list are linked using pointers. In simple words, a linked list consists of nodes where each node contains a data field and a reference to the next node in the list. So we have some nodes that have data and something to link to the next node. So suppose that you have a number, any number. For example, you have this number and you want to store this in a linked list. So your number has some digits. For example, here we have 149563. So the stored number will look like something like this. There's a head in your linked list. Head is the first node and the first element that you store. And your first node or any node has some data and the reference to the next node. And it goes on. So if I want to store this number, I have to store 1 first, then 4, then 9, then 5, then 6, then 3. And the difference between a linked list and array is if I want to access to 5, it's not like I can directly get a 5 from the linked list. No, it doesn't work like that. It starts from 1 to 4 to 9 to 5 to 6 to 3. So if I want to go to 5, I have to check from 1, then 4, then 9, then 3, and it goes on. So a linked list works like this. So our linked list contains some nodes that have data and a reference to the next node. And this is how the linked list works. So let's take a look at another example. Like imagine we have these characters and we want to store them in nodes of linked list. So this is how it works. First we store 1, then -10, 9, and then whatever. It's like this. In our tutorial, we are gonna store numbers in a linked list. And as you know, the integer numbers can be positive or negative. So for example, if I'm having this number, I have to store the digits and the sign of the number. Like it's a positive number, so I also have to store the plus, then 3, 5, 5, 7, and 9. So our linked list will be look like this. It's gonna be something like this. The linked list we have shown here was a singly linked list. There are other linked lists as well, doubly linked list, multiply linked list, or other kind of linked list. And the linked list we are using here is a normal singly linked list. If you want to have more information about linked lists and other data structures, there are links in the description and you can take a look at them if you want to. Before we start coding, I suppose that you at least know the basics of Python programming language and how to use algorithms in a program. Also, the ID we are using here is PyCharm, but feel free to use anything you want. It doesn't matter, it's not too complicated. And let's start. Okay, here we are. So first things first. First we need to create a new class for our nodes. So creating just a regular class named node, or whatever you like to name it. The data is equal to data, and the next is none by default, because for now our nodes are empty and we have nothing. It's only head by default and it's nothing in here. Okay, so perfect. Next we need to create a class for a linked list so we can create or use our linked list. So in order to do that, we create a new class named linked list, or whatever you like to name it. it has something named a variable named sign. We're gonna use this sign to determine if the number is positive or negative. So head is the first node by default, is a node by default, and we have something called sign equal to sign. Perfect. Okay. After this, we have to implement and create new functions to append new data, search data, delete data, or whatever we want to do with our data in our linked list. So we're gonna start with a function named isNeg or isNegative. Okay, let's call it isNeg. We're gonna use this function to determine if if our number is negative or positive. So if the sign is equal to negative character, it returns true. Oops. Yeah. Otherwise, it returns just false. Yeah, perfect. Okay. I don't know, something's happening with my coding today. It's pretty sloppy and slow. Sorry about that, guys. So next, a linked list is not a linked list without having something to add new data. So in order to do that, we need to add a new function named append or add or whatever. That's something called data, the data we want to add. Our new node gonna take the data, and our current node is currently head because the linked list starts from the head. So in order to get that one, we need to use while or for is equal to next, and is our new node. If I didn't do anything wrong, yeah, feel like that's it. Yeah. So we're gonna use this later to add new data to our linked list. Perfect. So okay, so next we're gonna create a new function to determine the length of our current linked list. So just gives us the integer value of the length of the linked list. I mean, it can change over time because we can obviously add more nodes and datas, but it gives us the current length. So the current node that we are in is head, and our total length is 0 by default. Then while our next node is not equal to none, total equals to, and our next, yeah, this works until it gets to the last node and gives us the number of nodes that we went. So I believe we got an error here. What is this? Oh yeah, perfect. Okay, so yeah, let's have a comment here. It's gives us the length of linked list. Let's have a comment for this one as well. It returns, or no, adds a new data. Okay, perfect. Next, we need something to display our current linked list. So in order to do that, we create a new function named display, and we're working with integer numbers, so we have to know if that's a negative number or positive number. So in order to do that, we're gonna use the function that we created before, is negative. So if the number is negative, just print out the negative. And also we don't want our print to go to the next line, so we're gonna use this end here. Yeah, and otherwise else just print the positive sign, so plus sign. Yeah. And end is equal to one space. Perfect. Yeah. We're gonna have a empty list here. Currently there's nothing inside because didn't put any data there. The current node is on head, so while current node is not none, two things happen. First, we're gonna go to the next node, and then we're gonna get the data of that node, current node, that data, yes, and we're gonna print our list as well, because we want to display our linked list. Yeah, perfect. Very nice. So next, we want something to get the value of the node at a certain index or at a certain number. Like you want to get the you get the data of the first node or second node or whatever, and we need to use a function in order to do that. So in order to do that, we're gonna create a new function named get. Oops. So if the index is greater than the length, it is not allowed to be greater, because or it's less than 0, should gives us error, like just prints out like error get index out of range. Yeah. So and we're gonna return nothing. Yeah. Otherwise, we're gonna do this. We're gonna have something. Oops, man. We're gonna have the current index equals to 0, and the current node is obviously the head where I start, and while it's true. Man, I'm not sure what it feels like. I'm getting the Russian accent. It's like I've played too many Dota 2 games, guys, in EU server, by the way. Oh, it's current node. So yeah, the current node equals to next, and then we're gonna need our current index equal to index, and I believe that's, yeah, we want that to return the current node data. Yeah. So current index 1 to make sure our while loop is working. So what it does is you give this function a number like 1, 2, 3, and it gives you the data of that node. It returns the value of the node at a certain index. Anyway, okay, cool. So next we want a function to remove the data that we don't want. So we just give a number and it's gonna remove that node. So in order to do that, we're gonna create a new function named erase. My god, dude, didn't used to work in PyCharm. Sorry guys. If index is greater than length, or index is less than 0, obviously we want to print exactly this. Yeah, very much it. Otherwise, we want our current index to be 0 and our current node to be that head, obviously. And while true, we need an infinite loop here until we get to the point that we make sure that we remove that data and that node. We need a variable named last node, because by removing a node, you're gonna need the next node after that and the node before that. So you're gonna kinda put and connect these two together after removing the current the node you wanted to erase. And the current node is equal to current node dot next. Perfect. If current dot next is equal to index, our last node should be the next node, I believe, and this is where we want to exit the loop and add the index by 1 to make sure our loop is working properly. Okay, so yeah, I mean, I feel like that's enough for now. So let's test things out. Let's test. Okay, so let's create a list. I don't know, test list, and we need to give it a sign, like, I don't know, negative or whatever. And let's use list dot append, and let's add a bunch of digits, like 1, 3, 9. Okay, perfect. So let's test other methods, like the display method and test list dot length. I believe yeah, it doesn't print anything, so let's print it out. And what else? Let's test our erase one. I don't know, remove the second one, whatever. and then display it again. So let's run this out. Okay, so our number at first should be should contain 14539 digit, and it's a 5-digit number for sure. Nice, it's working properly. And then we erase the second. Yeah, it's a start from sorry, it's a start from 0. Yeah, 0, 1, 2. Yeah, sure, it's working nice. And of course it's a start from 0. Am I dumb or something? I don't know. And yeah, the display is working nice. Let's just get as well. Sorry. The first one is actually 1. Yeah, it's working properly. Nice. So now we created linked list that can get any integer numbers. So next we need to create a function so we can add these two linked lists, these two integer numbers, and we're gonna create a new linked list after that. So let's do this. So we're gonna create a new function named sum. The sum gets two linked lists, and let's put some variables, like the first number 0 by default, 1 is positive. We're gonna use this later for positivity or negativity of a number, this variable. So if the second number is 0 by default and number 2 is positive, it's equal to 1, of course. Okay, so now we have to know if our numbers are negative or positive. So if one is negative, method is true, then is equal to 1. Okay, and we're gonna do the same thing for our other variable. Number 2 is positive, -1. Then we need a for loop to get every single one of our data, every single one of our digits, and put it together. So for the first number, I'm gonna use the length, and number 1 gets the integer value of the first data, the current data, multiplied by 10 by the power of something. Like it starts from 0, it should start from it starts from length -1 minus I, and it goes on. Like if it contains like 5 digits, it should start from 10 to the power of 4, then 10 to the power of 3, then 10 to the power of 2, and it goes on. So 10 to the power of x1, that's length, -1 and minus I. Nice. And our number 1 is actually now after that we need to determine the negativity or positivity of the number. So number 1 has a value That's fine as a value, but we need to determine if it should be negative or positive. So number 1 should multiply by the negativity or positivity of number. Number 1 is positive. Okay, perfect. We kind of do the same for number 2. x2 yeah, perfect. Okay. Then we need to add these numbers, add up these numbers. So I mean, we can actually print the sum of these numbers. Yeah, let's print the sum of these numbers to make sure if our function is working properly. Number is actually plus str number 1 plus number 2. Very nice. And we're gonna create a new variable named sum. We're gonna use sum for the sum of two numbers. Nice. Now I'm going to use these the digits of this number to create a new linked list, a brand new linked list. So now we determine if it's negative or positive using the sum is positive variable. Okay, now we have to create a new linked list using the sum variable. So in order to do that, first we need to determine if it's positive. If it's actually positive, so the new linked list should be positive, the sign positive plus. Otherwise it should be negative. Yeah. Then for every single digit first we turn our number to a string, so it's going to be easier to determine how the length of the number. Then we're gonna get the length of that string. We're gonna append every single digit. So here we're gonna print the first digit, second, and it goes on. And we want our brand new linked list to display. So make sure it's working properly and return x3. Very good. So let's test things out. So let me copy paste this. Link 2, test link 2, test link 2, test link 2, test link 2. We want it to be a different number, like even a 4-digit number, like 2, 7, 8, whatever. So yeah, first we want this to display this. Then we kind of want to use our new function. So I don't know, create a new variable and I'm the sum or whatever. Sum of test link 2 and test link 1. Oh, test link, yeah, of course. And we want to, I'm actually gonna display the sum, but let's display it again. Let's display this as well. So let's see. what we got. We got an error somewhere. Oh yeah. Yeah, of course. It's a range. And we want this to be a sum. Yeah. Sure. Okay. Let's test things out again. So first we have a 4-digit number. I mean, let's do this. Yeah. Okay. First we have a 5-digit number. 14539. It's a negative number. And second we have 2478. And these numbers adds up. Gonna get the value of this. Is it actually true? Yeah. It's like it's true. Yeah, it's working perfectly. That's pretty much it for now. I mean, yeah, that's pretty much it for now. Hope you guys enjoyed my tutorial. It was actually my first YouTube video, and I'm gonna work on more advanced stuffs and more advanced projects in the future. I'm gonna put the source code on a link in the description, and hope you guys liked my content. Feel free to like, subscribe. It's gonna motivate me a lot to create more tutorials like this. And if you have any questions, just feel free to comment. Feel free to write a very angry comment if there was a mistake or there was a problem. So thanks guys, peace out.